And we are going to stay on that side of the Atlantic for Media Watch with James Creedon. Hi there, James.
Hi, Catherine.
A bit further north from Brazil. We're in Mexico. We're looking at the coverage of that rather surprise visit by none other than Donald Trump on Wednesday.
That's right. So first off, with the Mexican media, who were very critical, in fact, of their president spending 3 hours with Donald Trump, who had for the previous year been quite critical, in fact, quite insulting of the Mexican people. Talking with an idiot is the headline of this editorial by Salvador Garcia in El Universal newspaper. It criticizes the Mexican president for spending so much time with Donald Trump, and even went so far as to compare Mr. Trump to Hitler. Obviously, a lot of discussion of the wall as well, completely divergent versions of the story there. Donald Trump saying that there was no discussion of who would pay for this infamous wall during his discussion with the Mexican president. He's previously said that Mexico should foot the bill 100%. The Mexican president, for his part, Mr. Peña Nieto, said that he did say to Donald Trump that Mexico will absolutely not pay for it. In any case, on the discussion of the wall, sticking with the Mexican media, El Universal, with this opinion piece saying that a wall is simply unthinkable in the 21st century. The US and Mexico need one another. Sure, let's put in place a secure border, he says, but a 21st century border.
All right, Donald Trump saying that the wall will be built, like you say. It would have to cover about 1,000 miles, though. So, as you say, there's even logistical questions to be asked there. The US media, though, let's look at them. They're asking, what happened, Donald Trump, between Mexico and Arizona, where he flew afterwards? He seemed to drastically change his tune. That's
right. I think any objective observer would no matter where you sit on the political fence, would have said, that's quite the change in tune. Politico, after diplomatic turn in Mexico, says the news website, a fiery immigration speech proves Trump's moderation to be a ruse. Trump play acts as president in Mexico, says Salon.com, then goes full nativist in Arizona. For the New York Times, in their editorial, they say Trump tried on his calm, grown-up voice in Mexico, and then headed back over the border and shed his decorum by the time he got to Phoenix. They are confounded and find it utterly absurd that a policy of empty words strung together and repeated has in fact propelled him as far as he now is. And I think a good example of that vis-a-vis the wall is Donald Trump's Twitter account, where early this morning he said, Mexico will pay for the wall 100%. This is after he came back from Mexico. 6 hours later on the same Twitter account, Mexico will pay for the wall. So it's this sort of stuck in gear, on repeat, broken record style of slogan politics that is actually working. The New York Times editorial might see it as empty words strung together, but you know what? When it's a slogan that is actually penetrating a lot of people's thinking, if you like, and even on the front of T-shirts, I suppose you could say it's working. Some people are trying to counteract it by saying, you build a wall, you can go over it, you can go under it, you can break it down. And this is anonymous Jobs US saying that in a way, even that's not very politically correct, but a Trump-tard could understand this, surely, that the whole notion of building a wall has its failings. I quite like this kind of humorous tweet. Maybe Trump's strategy is to sound so evil and unstable that he convinces Mexico to pay for the wall to protect itself. Anyway, if some in the Mexican media would agree with the evil and unstable part, probably wouldn't agree that they're going to foot the bill to protect themselves.
A lot of Americans, though, we have to say, do support Donald Trump. They do want that wall to be built. Opinion very much polarised in the run-up to this election, probably more than we've ever seen. And that's very much reflected in the media, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, for the one part, he's standing as the anti-establishment candidate, so people who don't like the establishment will vote for him, no matter what he says. But then there's the added factor of what media do you tune into, and what, are you surrounding yourself then on social media with only like-minded people?
So it's an echo chamber.
Totally an echo chamber, and two sort of parallel universes, or two bubbles, if you like. So the Washington Post doing a noble effort there of fact-checking. The Washington Post has been banned from his rallies, by the way, and I doubt that any Trump supporters will read that fact-checking article. You have other individuals on Twitter saying that he's unfit for office, he's demonising immigrants, etc., etc. But then you go over to, for example, this commentary piece on the CNBC website, where they say that Wednesday gave Donald Trump the best of both worlds, a priceless photo op with a foreign leader and maximum attention on his firebrand immigration speech. He quite clearly pulled it off. Over at Breitbart.com, which is sort of hardline conservative equivalent of the Huffington Post. And they are quoting John Bolton, former US ambassador to the United Nations under George W. Bush, saying Trump's Mexico visit, an outstanding success. It shows daring and dramatic leadership you will never see from Hillary Clinton. If you want to stay on their website, you can read how we saw it referred to earlier as nativism. Well, here on Breitbart.com, it's being referred to as Americanism, which is something positive in opposition to globalism. And of course, on the homepage, it is a full-on attack on Hillary Clinton. You can even stream for free a Breitbart partly funded documentary called Clinton Cash, which is devastating for the Clinton campaign. Breitbart.com, in fact, which will be apparently launching in France, a French version of their website, next year.
Interesting indeed. Thanks so much to James Creedon picking through the media reaction there to Donald Trump's visit to Mexico.